everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube series that is not about me. Hello everybody, and welcome to my Spotlight On series, where I shine my little spotlight on the stars of theatre and musicals and chat with them about their careers in this business we call show. If you haven't seen me before, then hi, my name is Emily and I'm an actor-singer based in the UK, and I spend my time either performing in shows or talking about them. If you love all things theatre, music and musicals as much as I do, then click subscribe and join my stagey little online family. Also, while you're there, click the thumbs up if you would love to see more videos like this one on my channel. And if you're really into this, then comment down below with your favourite Hamilton character. So welcome to my series of videos where I chat to the stars and creators of Broadway and West End theatre, the award winners and the fan favourites. Today I am lucky enough to be joined by Broadway's very own George Washington, aka Tamar Greene. Yes, that's right. Tamar originally played George Washington in the Chicago production of the 11-time Tony Award winning Hamilton, a little show you might have heard of, before transferring to the Broadway production of Hamilton, where he continued to play George Washington until the Broadway lights were switched off due to the pandemic. A singer, actor and pianist, Tamar Greene had already had a versatile and varied career before his Hamilton debut. Earlier in 2018, Tamar had been on tour with the first national tour and North American premiere of Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber's Love Never Dies. Greene's CV also includes playing Crabman in Porgy and Bess at one of America's premier performing arts festivals, and he also worked with the Tony Award-winning Broadway creative team as the quartet leader in After Midnight. Tamar also performed as Charlie in the New York Philharmonic Orchestra's production of Showboat, alongside stars such as Vanessa Williams and Norm Lewis at the Lincoln Center broadcast on PBS. And before this, Greene also toured as Fisherman in the Broadway's first national tour of the Gershwins' Porgy and Bess, which won the 2012 Tony Award for Best Musical Revival. And on top of his amazing achievements as a performer, Tamar also holds many qualifications, including a Master's from the Eastman School of Music in Vocal Performance and Literature, a BA in Music with a focus on piano performance, and a BA in Computer Information Systems. So it's fair to say that Tamar is as smart as he is talented. Mr. Tamar Greene is also the lead singer of Bitchin' Kitchen, a band who has proudly opened for John Legend. Other notable performances by Mr. Greene include as a featured soloist in Buffalo Opera Unlimited's Verdi concert, and with the Eastman School of Music in If Music Be the Food in aid of Rochester's Foodling. On top of this, Tamar teaches piano and voice as well as composing original work. Okay, so I think we can all agree that Tamar has brains as well as talent, but that is enough from me. That's right. We have finally got to the part of the video that you came here for. Here is what happened when I caught up with the Broadway powerhouse himself. You have obviously had a really successful career so far, but when did your love of singing and performing begin?
I began with my family, my parents. My dad is a kind of an old school DJ, like a Jamaican DJ, and once we always had records and stuff around the house playing all kinds of music. And my mother is British, Jamaican as well, but she played piano and sang while I was growing up. So music was always around, and my father always made sure my parents always made sure we played instruments. So from really young, I was a pianist first and loved playing piano. I thought I was going to be a concert pianist when I was older. And life kind of had different plans for me a little bit. But it started then. It started really young with that love and support from my parents.
Oh, that's beautiful. When was your first professional job as a performer?
My first professional job as a performer, I would say was, I did some operas, right? So I'm an opera singer as well. I've done some opera work, but I'd say within the theater realm, it'd be Porgy and Bess, the Broadway company, the national tour, but the Broadway production of Porgy and Bess. That was my first big like entrance into what musical theater really is.
So you mentioned that you also sing opera. Is it true that you also sing in a band?
Yeah, funk band. Like my band was called Bitchin' Kitchen, and we performed a lot all over the place. And we actually opened for John Legend.
Wow.
At the point. So we've yeah, it's been a while, but that was a huge passion of mine as well. Leading a band, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
So do you have a preferred genre to sing, or do you enjoy the versatility of what you're doing at the minute?
That's a great question. I do enjoy the versatility. I really do, because every style is different, you know, and requires different things of you. I love classical music because I love languages. I've done a lot of schooling, and I just love like learning and diving into different cultures. And because I'm first generation American, so like I'm interested in other people's stories and how their culture has done what they do and like what foods they eat or whatever. So I'm always interested in learning other cultures and other music, and that's what I love about opera. I love studying Italian text, diving into that. It's funny. I was like, I have my opera anthology right here, actually. Looking at some material. But yeah, so Italian work. I love French. French doesn't love me as much, but, but I love French. German as well. So I love those for those. That's what it fulfills, that piece of my passion of the arts. But I love the acting portion and really diving in musical theater. You don't, now we do more and more, but like not in an opera, you don't dive into the material as much. You don't chew into that text. And like I've never like cried authentically in opera, for example, you know, like we're in musical theater or even pop stuff. When I'm really connecting with the text, I'm like, it hits my heart so deeply, and requires difference. It allows more of your own, how can I say that? I said it allows you to be more of yourself. I feel personally, everyone has their own journey. So it's almost therapeutic in a way to do musical theater styles or pop styles as well, which have their own finite differences as well. But for all intents and purposes, I love them all. I love the versatility of it all.
There's not many performers out there that could do, say, Hamilton and then an opera. That's quite niche.
Yeah, I know. It's not incredibly common. I know, as I've been in a couple casts now, so like I know my colleagues, not normally crossing both styles. But actually, for my final audition for Hamilton, I was singing for the creative team, and Alex Lacamar loves music, all kinds. He's a classical pianist. He's just brilliant. But we had a long conversation in the beginning of my final callback. He's like, I see you got like a lot of opera material on your resume, because some people, and I used to as well, I used to separate my resumes. You know, just to say like, so there's no confusion, like, oh, he can't do this if he does this, you know, that kind of thing. But I gave up on that, and I was like, this is me. You know, I'm unapologetic about it. This is who I am. I love all these things, and if you're intrigued, call me in. So with Alex, we had a long conversation. Like as soon as I got in there, I felt like we spent like 10 minutes just talking about our love for music and opera and Puccini and Verdi and whatever, like just talking about music. And I was like, are we gonna do Hamilton stuff too, or you know? So like it's little gems like that throughout my life that I've lived for and love.
So you played George Washington both in Chicago and then on Broadway. Was it very different between the two, or was it literally just like sidestepping straight into the same thing, different city?
It was, I mean, for people who are watching the show, that people might say like, oh, it's the same exact thing. And for all intents and purposes, it is the same show, but it is so different. It really was so different. And we're talking like, even like, you know, like everyone has routines, right? You might get up and brush your teeth, you know, fold clothes, whatever it is. And if you like got up and went to the bathroom and your toothbrush was in a different spot and you're like, I know the toothbrush is here, but I don't like, it's gotta be here somewhere. You know, it's like those small, like silly things that make a huge difference. Like even just coming down the stairs on stage right after the top of the show, I'm coming down the stairs and I'm guiding down with my hand on the rail, and I'm realizing that this stage is built differently. This wood is different. Like the polish, like the width of the arm rail is different. Like those little things are enough to like drive you kind of crazy, because it's when at first glance it's the same, you know. So it is very different for someone who's done the show hundreds and hundreds of times.
Yeah. What was it like when you got given the role? Like, were you happy? Were you scared? Like, what did that feel like to be given such an iconic part?
Both happy and scared. You know, there's a video actually. I took a video because I knew it was going to be some news. I didn't know they were going to give me George Washington, actually. But my agent, so I was like recording it because I just love recording like snippets of life.
Yeah.
And I saw my face throughout the recording, and I watch it from time to time, and I'm like, you can see the excitement and then like the small bit of fear in it, you know. It's like, oh my God, you know, like I was cursing, all kind of stuff. And they're like, yeah, you start, like, it was pretty quick. Like you start pretty quickly. I was like, oh, okay. You know, like I
Yeah.
had to process all of that pretty quickly. And I'm like, okay, because the show is so gigantic. I've never jumped in, first of all, I've never jumped in a show that was already running. As far as a particular production, I've never been a replacement for somebody. So that has its own things as well. When you're joining a family and you're just trying to fit into the family, that's one aspect of it. But also I've never been part of something so gigantic as like Hamilton is and has become. So that had its own like bit of nerves in the beginning, like, okay, like inevitably everyone in the audience is going to know the show more than I do, actually.
Yeah, it's one of those shows for sure.
One of those shows, yeah. Okay. And I'm really good at slipping up a word here and there. So like that was one of my huge fears in the very beginning. Then you dive in and you do the work and you realize some of it is irrational, and you just like really focus in and do the work. You do your job, and you get it together. But yes, initially I was definitely pretty nervous and also extremely excited because I was, you know, I'm still a fan of the show, very much a fan of the show. So
I take it you got to watch it on Disney Plus? Have you been
yeah. I did. I honestly hadn't finished watching it. Like, that's really funny. Like, I didn't.
Well, I guess you've kind of seen it from many different angles.
Yeah, I've seen lots of, you know, original company. I've seen it live. I've seen it a bunch. But I am gonna finish. It sounds terrible because I'm like, I know these people, but I'm gonna finish watching it. But it's beautiful. It really is incredible, and it's what they've done to it is very special to be able to see it internationally. Really, for people to have the opportunity to see the original. Will never replace live, but you know, it is still a special thing.
Absolutely is. You are obviously, you've mentioned briefly, but you're a very educated man. You have masters, you have multiple qualifications, and a few of those are in The Voice, aren't they? Like vocal techniques. So what advice could you give people, or just sort of tips to maintain that vocal health whilst doing such a powerful amount of performances in a row?
Yeah. I always talk about a friend of mine when I first joined Porgy and Bess as an opera singer, joining the musical theater realm and understanding the differences and how vast they are. When you do an opera, you're on the stage and you're projecting to like 100% of your instrument's capacity to the back of the room, and you're using your instrument in that way. And I have a big voice, a big instrument, so I was like, I'm going to use this big instrument. I'm going to, you know, scream to the back of the hall, you know. And I remember joining the company, and my friend Dwelvin, I remember I repeat to my head all the time. He's like, you never give more than 62.5%. And I was laughing because I was like, that's silly, right? Like, see, that's not even a passing grade. What do you mean? Like, see, I understood what he meant by that. The more and more I started to work, it means you don't have to, like, as an opera singer, as he was also trained, like, you don't have to go all, you don't have to throw it all on the ground. It's not about that.
Yeah.
You have help from very wonderful audio engineers who have the mic there for you and allows you to be more intricate with your decisions, and they will be amplified with you, and it's a partnership in that way. I mean, Porgy and Bess itself was still, even the Broadway version was still pretty opera, classical, I should say. But I've carried that with me through, like, George Washington, for example, which is a big sing,
Mhm.
but there are lots of moments where you can be much more intimate. And so, as far as the question of advice, I would advise people to take, first of all, lots and lots of voice lessons. Find someone you trust. Uh, know your instrument as well as you can, because no one, and I find myself, I think I'm a really good teacher, but, like, no one will be able to tell you what you're feeling exactly.
Yeah.
I know what it's like for me, but my bone structure is different than, like, your bone structure, for example, like, so things resonate differently inside our in our masks or in our faces or in our bodies, and we'll feel it differently. Some people like to say it feels like a pony riding in the sky, like, some people might feel great. But other people need to know, like, your hyoid bone is here and your cricoarytenoids are going like this and your soft palate, and some people need that, and you can see that some need a combination. So you need to do that work and to see just to find out who you are, right? In general, I mean, that goes for technically, but also in general, do that work to find out who you are. But know your instrument. Know when it hurts, stop. Just don't push. That's part of the 62.5% thing. Don't push. Know what that means. Know what the limits of your instrument are. Know that you don't have to be big. You don't have to belt because you look a particular type of way. There's so many different things. Like, that's another big one I talk about all the time. Like, don't just belt. Don't copy someone else just cause. Yeah, don't copy someone. Find your own voice, because I find a lot of students who are like, oh, I want to sing, I don't know, I want to sing like some angsty Dear Evan Hansen or something like that, and so you just listen to the track and listen to the album a bunch of times, and those people sound amazing, but those people aren't you. You can also sound amazing as you.
Yeah.
You don't have to copy what that other person is doing exactly. You can learn from, like, how they maybe can float something or use how to know that these are things that an instrument is capable of. But then at the end of the day, you have to be you and then trust in a teacher to help you find out who you are.
Well, speaking of being original and some originality, obviously you are an incredible piano player. I also read that you like to write original music as well. Do you have any plans to release your own music?
Yeah, I would think that, as much as this question, because, like, I should already have, like, stuff out there. But yes, I do have plans to put things down solidly. I actually had a plan to do that right in April. I was supposed to record. Obviously, we shut down in March, and everything shut down in the world in March. But in April, I had plans to do that, and then it kind of just took a big step back. And I've been able to continue to write music on my own, and I do a lot of different like corporate events or live events or something like that, where I'm arranging for people and arranging for myself as well, different types of music. And I do that on the side, but I never actually put it to recording. I don't know why. I just was like, I like the live aspect. I do, but I'm an engineer as well. Like, I do audio engineering. So I'm like, what's your deal? It's like, let's lay it down.
Do all of it.
I know. It's like, oh, it's too much. Everything in my brain is insane. But yes, I do have plans to get some things down. I have music. I just have not shared it all with the world. I do have a track on Spotify, a song called Soaring. That is one song to check out on all the platforms, out of Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever. And some other things through like performances that are on YouTube. Like I have a song called "In My Arms" that I've done and had professionally recorded for video wise, but not for like purchasing an album. So the answer is yes, I am planning on it. I am working on it. I am sure you, I promise. It is.
Do you have anything on your bucket list? Is there a role that you haven't played that you want to play? Is there another role in Hamilton you'd like to have a go at?
Oh, so okay, we'll go from Hamilton first. I love I love Burr actually. Like, and I don't necessarily know if I need to necessarily do it myself, but I do really enjoy his character arc. I love how he begins very humble guy and he's trying to do his best and not make too many mistakes. He's trying to make everyone happy, but also play it safe. And, you know, and I recognize that. And I have been that, you know, I've been that dude, just like trying to play it safe, trying to kind of people please a little bit, calm everyone down a little, you know, from rowdiness, which is similar to George Washington in that aspect, trying to get people to look at the big picture. So I recognize a lot of what Burr goes through as a person, and then things go a little awry and he's trying to figure stuff out and he really needs like some counseling. And but Burr would be one that I think would be fun to dive into. I'm not a big fan of like jumping off a table every day. I don't know about that.
Yeah, that doesn't look easy.
Like, yeah, the way these knees are lined up, I mean, well, but that does seems like a lot of fun. But outside of that, one of my favorite roles, my favorite shows is Ragtime, and to be Cole House Walker Jr., who is a educated pianist, a brilliant pianist, who just wants to build a better life for himself and his family and his wife and his young child. So that's a beautiful story, beautiful show with so much relevance still today. That's my dream role I have not done yet.
Oh, fingers crossed.
I will.
Yeah, manifest it. Do you have any advice for somebody starting out a career in performance, whether it be singing, acting, combination?
Yeah, you know, I find myself to be interested in a lot of different. I find a lot of value in the versatility. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, I find a lot of value in that. So I always encourage people to take all the classes you can, even if it's not just some people. College isn't for some people. I am a big fan of college. I've done a lot of schooling, but you know, it's not for some people. But that doesn't mean you don't still learn and take classes and whatever it might be. It could be the ballet, whatever place around the corner, but take classes, dance class, whatever you are. If you're a singer, still take some dance things, ballet, but also hip hop, dance, modern, whatever. Like take it all. Learn as much as you can about your craft, vocally. Learn those differences. There are some theaters and some companies, even in New York here, who do more golden age stuff, and that's just what they do, and they're great companies. And it would be, you know, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, learn how to do that. Learn how to utilize your instrument in that way. But also learn, you know, how to belt. But know that belting doesn't mean you have to be screaming, and it doesn't have to be hurtful. You can belt the way you do it. You can mix, and that would be a very passable, like not even just passable. That would be a wonderful sound still, you know, with mixing. So learn all the different things you can do with your instrument, vocally, pianistically, but not pianistically, dancing wise is what I'm going to say. But also learn other things, like take government classes and learn about the world, and travel and learn what people are doing over the pond, you know, like, and what people are doing all over the world, and start to get to know people. And that's how you can really dive into characters, is if you understand the world more, and what it looks like and what different cultures might do. And then ultimately you have to learn more about yourself, And that's the only way you can pretend to be anybody else, like, quote unquote, pretend. I always say acting is not pretending to be anyone else, actually. It is being yourself in different circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to do that, you have to learn who you are.
Yeah.
Work on yourself. That might be counseling. Like, I'm a very big, I promote counseling all the time, and mental health. It is so important for everyone. It's not just for like people, might be sick or mentally ill, it's for everyone. Everyone needs to make sure you are mentally well, and just, take care of yourself. This business is really difficult. There's so many no's in this business. I've been told no, even for Hamilton. I was told no for 2 years before I got it. So, you got to know how to receive that and know that it doesn't mean that you are worse as a human or person or as a gifted individual. It just means it's not right now or not the right fit. That's fine.
Fantastic advice. Thank you. So what are you most looking forward to once all the craziness of what's going on at the minute is over and things are open again and people can be freer again? What are you most looking forward to when we get our lives back again?
I am really looking forward to, most looking forward to? That's a big one, most. I'm going to throw
I'll let you have a few if one's too limiting.
I appreciate you. I look forward to, like, oh my goodness, traveling again. I love traveling, and I would love to just get out of this country, go somewhere, not feel weird about it. Go to a beach somewhere, fly to Jamaica, whatever, and just like have a good time. I'm looking forward to getting back with my Ham fam and walking into that theater with my castmates and like just laughing just together at some point, like unmasked. I really look forward to that, seeing faces, seeing smiles. And my family, I look forward to like being with my family without a care of like, when's the last time you were tested? When's this, all this uneasiness, and to like, hug my parents without care, like, that's probably most, to hug my family without no feeling, of angst. But yeah, it's deep. This world is crazy. What's happening right now?
Well, fingers crossed we're going in the right direction. Who knows, but we can just hope.
Yeah. I hope and pray that is the case. Well, we shall see.
Well, thank you so much for chatting to me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope that 2021 picks up and you're back traveling and back doing your thing in no time.
Yes, we'll be there.
Yeah. I really hope that you enjoyed me shining my little spotlight on Tamar Greene today. If you did, then please click that like button, and if you'd like to see more videos like this one, then click subscribe, because I have so many more ready and waiting to go on my channel. More incredible stars of the stage, award winners, directors and writers. You will not want to miss it. Take care, everyone. Bye. Hi, thank you so much for getting to this part of the video. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch. I'd love it if you could click subscribe so we can stay in touch, and a little like would be nice as well. So why don't you leave a comment, just say hi, or let me know any songs you like or anything you'd like to see me cover on this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!